And
Amen.
ladies and gentlemen, you will not be disappointed in this ministry, Mr. Dale Anthony. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show.
Wow, listen, I'll take that introduction. That's incredible. Thank y'all so much. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Brother Anthony, great music,
Mm-hmm.
great anointing. Let's just start off. How, when, where did you start in gospel music? Take us all the way back to when you was a youngster,
In the church.
in the
Oh,
glimmer in your parents' eyes.
well, you already know. You already know how it goes, man. I'm a son of a preacher, man.
Wow.
My dad was a
Uh,
Baptist minister, and I was born and raised into the church. My mom and dad taking me to church every Sunday. I just grew a liking to the music that was going on in the church, and I would go and sit by. I would ask my mom, "Hey, can I go sit by the drummer?" And I would go sit by the drummer, starting at 3, 4, 5 years old. And I would just sit next to him and watch and awe, like, ooh, this is amazing. And so then my mom, I think I may have been around 5 years old. She bought me my first drum set. And I can just remember at the age of 5, and the first album that I fully listened to and started playing the drums to was You Brought the Sunshine, Clark
Clark
Sisters.
Sisters.
And so I was 7 years old going to daycare or school, whatever I was in, singing You Brought the Sunshine. So,
well, well, well,
A,
so that,
a
well,
crossover
yeah,
hit.
yeah, yeah. Well, let me just say this because thank God that your mother bought you the drum set. But I want to take it back to who gave you your first pair of drumsticks.
who where my it probably had to be the drummer that I was going to sit next to.
Okay.
Yeah, the drummer back at my old church, Allen Temple Missionary Baptist Church in Oakland, California.
Man, what
And
you
what
know
was the
about
drummer's
what you know
name?
about Allen Temple? I was the youth pastor at
Oh,
Mingleton Temple back when I was in college.
oh, well, let's go.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. I know exactly
Calvin
where Mick.
Brown and
Actually, yeah, Mingleton Temple, I think was across the street from True, wasn't it?
exactly, exactly.
So so what's funny about that is True was where I actually started doing ministry at. So
Hmm.
when I was a freshman in high school, I was singing with a group, and a friend of mine was a member of True, and they had a group of like a traveling group over there led by my brother Antoine Wesley.
Hmm.
And she invited me to sing with his group,
Hmm.
and but they were all members of True. So
Yeah,
that was when I kind of became not an adult, but when I was able to kind of start branching out and doing my own thing. My mom was like, "Go fly."
yeah.
That was the first church I actually decided on my own to join. And so
Hmm.
I joined True when I was like a freshman in high school, and then I became their drummer and started drumming for them,
Hmm.
and shortly after that started conducting and leading worship.
Well, man,
Wow.
I was up there going to college and at Berkeley, but I actually was living in Oakland and going to church in Oakland. Played with James Mitchell and Mitchell Singers, Lawrence Matthews, all of the folks up there.
Yeah,
Calvin Brown,
yeah,
Rodney, all of them folks.
yeah.
So my question
Oh,
to you is, growing up in such a dynamic musical
Yes,
environment
sir.
and musical city, how did that impact you to want to stay in this vein?
man, I think it's exactly what you said. It's so rich here, with all the musicians you already named, and then you talk about the
David
Hawkins
Jackson.
family, and you already talked about Lawrence Matthews and company, and Derek Hall, and like all of the gospel greats that I grew up and came up under, which are all my family today. Like these are all people who I love and respect and have been listening to forever, man. Yeah, it's just an incredible, rich history here, and I am just honored to, continue the legacy of gospel music in the Bay, and just keep that thing moving, man. It's good.
I'm gonna ask you this question, and it's a sidebar because I believe everybody who live
Okay.
in the Bay Area has had their BART experience. So can
Ooh.
you give us a funny BART experience that you had
Ooh.
in the Bay Area?
Ooh, a
That's the
funny
Bay Area
BART
Rapid Transit.
experience. Yeah, so for those, if you don't know what BART is our version of like the subway system.
Yeah.
So like how the East Coast have, the
Hmm.
subway system, so we have BART train. It was kind of well, it may have been famous before that, but Fruitvale Station, if you
Hmm.
haven't seen the movie Fruitvale Station that
Yeah,
Yeah,
talks about,
young man
you know,
got
what
shot.
happened here. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what that they were on the BART train right there when
yeah.
all that at the BART station where that happened.
With the
So what's
Bart
funny
police.
is that station,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Fruitvale Station was actually not far from the high school I went to. And so sometimes I would have to go to that station to hop on BART to get to wherever I was going home or whatever. But listen, I mean, the train runs every, I'll say like 5, 7 minutes,
Hmm.
but sometimes if you miss that thing, man, it's like an eternity waiting for the next train. And
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta walk to the next station. So
Hmm.
don't miss it and have to be somewhere in 10 minutes if they end up having to walk to your next station. It's
Yeah.
not good. Or get on the bus. You know, back then we wasn't walking, but you have to get on a bus to the next station. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, there's some
Yeah.
funny stories about Bart.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is that before Fruitville Station came out, there was a couple of historical points, and that was one of our heroes here in San Diego, James Mitchell. Roar had done the engine and all the other stuff for the BART system up there, and he was a preacher and a martial artist here, but he was also an attorney, and he was the attorney for Roar for the whole BART system, getting it up built and everything
Okay.
like that. So we had that history, but for me, I actually lived on East 14th Street, you know what I'm saying, in
Okay.
Fruitville. So Fruitville was my station that I would get to go to all the time to get to the college. And so
Yeah.
when the things happen, at Fruitville Station, it was like it brought some things home because that was a station I always attended, and being that I was in
Yeah.
education, I had Castlemont High School, Oakland Tech, Skyline, all those schools were my schools that I actually went and taught and worked with young people at, and just began to in the Bay Area, it was just so rich with kind of like family environment. It was the one area that you at the bottom of Oakland Hills was poverty, but once you start going up the hill, you went into riches.
Yeah, yeah. But the one thing about the BART wasn't getting ready to take you up there. So
No,
you
no.
had to either get a ride up there or catch the bus up there or, find your way. Because like you said, that train line runs right there along in the flats. We call it the flats.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
Yeah.
when did you
Yeah. And it
transition?
was the only way, and it was the only way most people like to go over to the city.
yeah.
So like people don't, if you're from the East Bay, I just got to talking about this at my show, but like people that live on the East Bay, don't like driving over to the city a lot.
Uh huh.
So if you was going over there to go shopping or whatever, you was getting on the BART. You wasn't driving.
But see, the hard thing for me is getting on it, knowing that the train was going underwater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was the crazy
Yeah.
thing. The train, the tunnel is
Yeah.
underwater. So when you go across the bay,
Yeah.
you're not going atop the water, you under the water.
So it's similar to Detroit
Yeah.
when you go to Canada,
Yeah,
you go through that underpass
yeah,
of water.
yeah. And all I kept on
Ooh,
saying as I,
Jesus.
I went through, I said, Lord Jesus, please let no earthquake come right now because I don't want to be washed away because we
Yeah.
underneath the water.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I never understood when people are like, oh no, I'm not driving to, I'm not driving to. I understand, heights and you can actually see the water and you're on a bridge that's, so high, whatever. But if you're on a train, you actually under the water. So what do you know, pick your poison.
yeah. And then my question is, how do you guys, because, the one thing that would trip me out, especially during the wintertime, in the San Leandro Bridge and then the Bay Bridge, those in the Golden State Bridge, those things moved. As you were driving, you
Oh,
could feel the
They
movement of the
probably were
bridges.
made to move.
yeah, you can kind of feel it a little bit. Yeah, yeah. That was back in the day. Though. Now they've gotten better now.
Yeah.
You don't really, the new Bay Bridge now is pretty sturdy. You can't really feel it moving.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
that old one, yeah. If the winds were strong, you could feel it for sure.
Yeah.
Now, how did you transition into being a professional recording artist? You sing in church,
Yeah.
you travel, that's one thing. But to take the next step to being a professional, how did you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. The difference with me was like most people that, came up in the church, they started singing like a lot of my friends. They started singing at 6, 7 years old in the church. Their mom pushed them up to do their first solo and all that. I didn't even realize my voice until high school. I didn't realize that, I could sing a little bit until I was maybe sophomore, freshman, sophomore, junior in high school. And then After that, I went to school and some junior college and after high school. But I guess I'd say when I decided to go to college, my second go around, I always knew I had a passion for music. I didn't know what area it would be in, but I went to Walt Disney's California Institute of the Arts in Southern California. I did 4 years there, and I took up songwriting and some theory and skills and things like that. And so coming out of there definitely gave me a new grasp on my skill set and what I was able to do, and just my love for music. And shortly after that, I started writing music. And then, I had a group of friends who, were like, "Hey, let's make this a thing." And so we ended up doing our first record, or I ended up writing my first album in 2012,
Mhm.
and then we recorded it and released it in 2013.
So let me deal
Wow.
with let me deal with the rumor.
Not a
You
rumor
know,
today.
yeah, I got to deal with the rumor.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Lord.
Rumor has it that the
Oh
only
no.
way that you found your voice is that you were singing to a girl, and she was like, oh, that was good, that was good, and that's when you knew, when you had sung that song to that girl, that you had a little bit of talent. Now I just want
Hey,
to know, that's a rumor. Is that true?
hey, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that. Listen, don't tell my wife though if she's listening, but I wouldn't doubt that. I probably was. I probably was singing to a girl in high school or something like that. Nah. What's funny, what really happened is I was playing drums for my high school choir, and we had an event somewhere, and I think something happened. The director got sick or got caught up somewhere, and the director couldn't show up. And they always knew that I knew the material because they would hear me on the drums singing along with them. And so whenever I was playing, I knew the material just because I had to learn it, internalize and all that. So I was singing from the drums. I don't know why they got the unction to ask me to direct the choir that day. We had the event. I'm like, I'm not a director. You want me to direct? They was like, Dale, you don't only want to know the song top to bottom, front to back.
Right.
Like nobody else could direct. We need you to direct. And so I just got thrown into it basically in directing. And so from there, I guess they saw I could, direct a little bit, and that turned into teaching, and that turned into, oh, you know the parts. Tell us what to sing, and then that turned into me realizing my voice, realizing my voice. I thought I was a drummer. And then that day I realized another gift.
But musicians can sing.
Yeah.
In gospel music, the producers, the drummers, and
Yeah.
musicians are some of the best singers. They don't choose
Yeah.
to do it, but if they had to
Yeah.
do it, they can really do it well.
Now, what high school
For
did you go
sure.
to?
So I started at Berkeley High. When you mentioned
Okay.
Berkeley, so I was a freshman at Berkeley High, and so my choir was Berkeley High. I don't remember our names, but that was the first. That was the first choir, high school choir that I had played for, and I was directing for. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. When you had to direct the first time, did you have to embody somebody? Was you trying to pull out the whole stops? Who was you copying when you came up with your directing?
I think I was probably copying the director that was supposed to be there because that's who they knew. But at that time, I was huge James Hall fan. Like I was
And vibrato.
James Hall, Ricky Dillard. So I was probably trying to get them to do that East Coast vibrato.
And
Or they couldn't do
Daryl
it.
Coley hated that.
Hmm.
He said, "We are West Coast. We have our own sound."
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Now, if you wasn't singing, what would you be doing?
Oh, that's easy. I would have went to culinary school.
You like to cook.
Yeah, I would have went to culinary school. I'm the cook. I'm the cook in my house.
Okay.
Can I deal with this other rumor?
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
I
Okay,
heard a
come on.
rumor was, your wife, when you first met her, she was feeling you, but it wasn't until you cooked that meal that she said, "Oh, you gonna marry me."
So the rumor is kind of close. It
Okay.
ain't exactly that, but I'm a correct it for you. So when we met at a jazz camp, and it's funny. Long story short, I kind of set it up for her to get there because I knew her before the camp, but I knew who was teaching at the camp. So I told him to invite her to the camp. It's a long story, but that's how she got there. And so it's a week-long camp up in the mountains. And so we got
Wait a minute,
there,
no, you
and
didn't have
then
her sent to the. You had her sent to the mountains so that she
I had
couldn't
her
get no
sent to the mountains.
reception.
That's right. You see, I had to at the corner over there.
Had to
No
take,
reception,
had
no
to
phone
take,
Undivided
reception, no
attention.
had to
email.
take her away from the city.
Undivided attention.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Yep. So got her up there. We hung out the whole time. And then when we got back, it was like, hey, because I had to come back before her because I had church Sunday. So the camp normally ended on like Sunday evening. So she stayed to the end. I came back Saturday to be there for church. But I told her, I said, hey, when I get back, we got to kick it. I don't care what time it is when I get back, we're going to kick it. I got back and she was hungry. I said, oh, what would you want to go eat? This is when I knew I was in love. She said, I just want a 4-piece nugget from Wendy's and a Frosty. I said, oh, you the one. You don't want to go to Red Lobster.
Right.
You don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. You
Right.
probably don't like Cheesecake Factory. These girls today don't like Cheesecake Factory.
Oh yeah, we seen
All
that.
you want
Mm-hmm.
all you want is some nuggets from Wendy's and a Frosty. I said, you don't want. Let's go right now. And you know what? You can upsize the Frosty. You can get the large.
Right.
We in there.
And put some French fries with it. Right. Right.
And so when she, because I heard that she wanted the nuggets so that she could tease you because she was gonna
Like
she
them
was
commercials?
gonna tease you with it. She knew what she was doing, and then she was gonna get the straw.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then she put a twist on it. Then she put a twist on it because back then, you take the fries and you dip them in the Frosty.
what?
Y'all don't know
Oh
nothing
yeah,
about
people did that.
Now wait a minute. Watch this. Did she feed you a fry?
No, I think I was feeding her.
Okay, there you go.
I was
There you
feeding
go.
her. Yeah.
So
But look, while I was singing to her, remember? Like
Uh-huh.
while I was singing to her.
see.
He used all his gifts.
So, but
Right.
it does say in the Word of God, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and findeth favor. So
Yeah.
you got married. You have children. How
Yes.
how many children do you
Yeah,
have?
we have 2 young children who God just dropped on us and blessed us. We've been married 10 years. We've been together almost 20 years,
Okay.
19 years. When we met, I was 21, she was 19. We got married in 2013. And so we've been married 10 years. When we started our conception journey, like shortly after getting married, but and endured some losses,
Mhm.
and it was a really, really trying time and season for us in trying to conceive
Mhm.
our first child. And then God blessed us into 2021 and blessed us with our son. He's now 2. And then right after that, and see, now when you pray, you need to be specific and
Come
tell
on.
God exactly what, because he dropped that second one on us right after the first one. And I was like, Lord, nah, okay, we was believing you for this miracle, but we weren't specific in how much time we needed to
Right.
prepare for the
Right.
next one. But no, man, it couldn't happen. It couldn't happen any better. My daughter's now 1, and they are close, back to back. I think they're only maybe 14 months apart, and
Mhm.
they're best friends, and they're a joy.
Well, see, that's a beautiful thing. I always tell her I love to hear the love story. You know what I'm saying? And see,
Yeah,
and let me tell her, I'll put a whole twist on it.
Of
You know
course you
what I'm
will.
saying?
yeah,
I'll be like sitting up there, and when we was walking in the mountains, I saw
yeah,
a ray come down, and when the ray came down, it said, "And this is good."
yeah,
Drama, drama,
yeah.
drama. Right. Right. Now, have you written
Good.
for any other people? Do you write for other artists? Who are some of the artists in the Bay Area? Because you guys are loaded with vocalists.
Yeah,
Loaded.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I've written for a few Bay artists. My mentor, actually, Terrence Kelly, is the conductor and the founder of the Oakland Interfaith Gospel Choir. Um, when I was a teenager, he took me under his wing and kind of showed me the ropes, and I learned a lot about leadership and conducting and vocal arranging and vocal textures and all of that good stuff from him. And so I was fortunate enough he was the first artist I wrote for when they did, I think, their third project. and that was just an incredible experience. And then yeah, there's a few other local artists I've written for. I'm currently in the works, working on a couple of other artists on the East Coast right now. That since I put this recent album out, I've gotten a couple calls about collaborating with some artists that I'm super excited about. Can't really mention
Right.
who it is and what's going on yet, but it's going to be some exciting stuff coming soon.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
yes, yes. Excited about it. Let me ask you this. Oakland is vast. You got Walnut Creek and all the other places. Are you still in the city of Oakland? Or are you in the suburbs?
I, why you got to say it like that? Make it sound so.
Yeah, yeah. Because I want you to
I
sound
I
bougie,
am
bougie.
I am I right. I am in the burbs. I am the burbs. I got two small kids now, and I want them to be able to run around outside safely. So yes, I got out of the city, but I still love my city and rep my city. And I go through there all the time. So, but yeah, I'm out. I'm in Oakley now, is
Oh,
what the
oh,
city
it's
I'm in.
Oakweed. Now, is it true that it's
No,
Oakweed?
no, not Oakley.
Okay, where you at?
Oakley,
Oakley. Okay,
Oakley,
I thought you said
Oakley.
Oakweed. Because I was gonna ask.
Oakley.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, is that where they had that big weed farm out there, Oakweed?
He said
No,
Oakley.
that's just your imagination.
No, they got big farms out,
That's
throughout. People got
that's
80 acres of it,
hilarious.
and they making a killing. And I'm
Oh
trying to tell them,
yeah.
but Jesus ain't happy with all of it. But we just keep on going. Anyway, going back to, let me ask you a question, and this is it, and then we'll get into your music.
Right.
This is me asking. Oakland
Yeah.
has truly made a lot of changes. When you go around Lake Merritt, you don't get to see where we used to
Yeah.
eat. All the church folks used to eat. Well, what's that place called that all the church folks would eat at?
Merritt
Yeah.
Bakery.
That's
Yeah.
gone, right?
Yeah. A lot of gentrification going on, and just different things, old businesses, mom and pop businesses, some of them that couldn't withstand the pandemic.
Yeah.
But then also just a lot of new businesses
Mm.
coming in from other places, and we just took my son to the Blippy concert in downtown Oakland the other night, and I was just driving through, like, pointing out all the new restaurants. I'm like, I haven't seen any of these places. Like, they just pop up overnight. But
Now,
yeah,
is the gingerbread house still standing?
no, gingerbread house has been going for a while. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
A lot of our old staple Pipers, Mary
Wow.
Bakery, gingerbread house, like a lot of those. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And over in Berkeley, was it called Chauncey's or something right on the bay?
Um, I don't know that one.
Maybe it
Chauncey's.
wasn't Chauncey. It was something, but it was right on the bay, right down from the Holiday Inn. There was a restaurant right there.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Now I'm
Oshie's
still
is open,
young. I'm
right?
still young, Doc. I'm
Yeah.
still young, Doc. I don't know. That might be something.
Well, I'm a little bit more mature. I'm
Right,
old enough to
right,
be your
right, right.
cousin.
Right. Now isn't Oshie's what's the name of that restaurant that do a lot of concerts?
Yoshi's.
Yoshi's.
Yoshi's. Yeah, they're still open.
Yoshi's.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
you guys been there, performed there?
Yeah. So my first album, yeah, I think promoting my first album, we did a few shows there. Yeah, Yoshi's is still up and running and
Yeah.
driving. Yeah, a lot of people coming through Yoshi's now. That's like Oakland's, live venue spot.
Oh yeah.
There go. Wait a minute. Now I got it. It was called Charlie Brown's.
I don't know Charlie Brown's. That might
Okay.
be before my time.
That's for his
Okay.
time.
So here we go. Let me ask you this question. Um, uh, in looking at all the things that you have done, what was the most pivotal thing of your musical career as a national recording artist that you knew that you had crossed over?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I never get too high on things.
Hmm.
So for me, I always feel like, kind of an underdog, or still feel like I'm trying to cross over and trying to,
Established.
if you will, make it yeah, exactly, and establish myself as an artist. There have been some things that we've won some awards and we've charted on Billboard, and things like that. But those type of things, I take them for what they are, and I thank God for them. But I'm always looking for that next. I'm always looking for, how I can get better.
Hmm.
I never feel like I've arrived. I never feel like anything is like the stamp of approval or you're here. I'm always just trying to further the kingdom, build the kingdom, and
Hmm.
just make God smile, man. That's really the thing for me. If I know that he's smiling on what I'm doing, then I'm good. That's my moment of feeling like, yeah, I've made it, is
That's
because
good.
I know God is smiling.
Okay. Well, I've been in ministry for 40 years, and my wife has a thing. When we was first coming, being married, everything like that. Yeah, after I would preach and everything like that, I would just look at her and say, "How you feeling?" And if she said
Mm.
that she's full to the brim, that meant that it was a good message and it hit home.
Hmm.
But if she said she was a little hungry, that basically told me I missed a little bit
You
of the
missed the
mark
mark.
and everything.
Mhm.
When you write a song or you are looking for feedback from your wife, how does she communicate when you done missed the mark?
Well, it's funny that you ask me that. We have a thing between us where she had hurt my feelings so much. I told her, listen, I'm not playing no more music for you until it's done. So what would happen is I would play. So my wife is one that likes to see the full picture, hear the full picture,
Hmm.
hear the full thing when it's done. And so what I would do is I would play demos for her, like I would do, some other people, just to get their feel and their take on, what they feel about it in its infancy. And so what would happen is I would play demos for her and she would fall in love with the demo. But now anybody that makes music know that it never stays like the demo.
Never.
There's always some things that are added, some things that are taken out, some
Hmm.
things you may decide to change or tweak, or I want to rewrite this hook a little bit or whatever. So then when it got to the finished product, she would look at it and go, this isn't the what you played me before. I really love, and I would give her a copy of it. She'd be playing it in her car, like she would live with the demo. But that finished product, when it came back different, she was like, "This isn't the same thing you played before. I don't know how I feel about it," and it would just hurt my feelings. Because I'm like, "This is the finished product.
Right.
This is the one we get ready to send out."
Mix and master.
And so now we have a thing now where I'm like, "Babe, I'm not playing you any music until it's done.
Hmm.
Then you can hear what it's like, and
And
tell
she
me,
can't compare.
what."
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. She can't compare it.
But
But for this last project, I have a funny video that I posted because one of the features on the album is a really good friend of mine. So he came to the house to cut his vocal, and we did a playback for her. She had just got home or whatever. We did a playback for her, and there's a video I posted on my Instagram of just how funny she was looking while she was listening to it and just twirling her hair like this. And I was like, "Babe, what does that mean? Does that mean you was not feeling it or trying to figure it out?" So we have this funny thing on social media, and everybody's commenting, "She's processing. Leave her alone."
Right, right,
So
right.
yeah,
so,
she's funny.
so my last question is, how do you use your kids to judge your music, and are your kids critics too?
Listen, they my biggest fans, so I could never do anything wrong. I could play trash for them and they gonna dance.
Because kids love to dance.
They love to dance, and if it's got a beat and some music on it, they don't care what it sound like,
Right.
who's singing it, what they dancing. So I go to them first now. Hey, son, listen to this. This may not be my best work, but tell me what you think about this. And he'll just start doing his little dance.
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I'm good."
So I'm just gonna let you know, there's gonna come a time in your parental life that you're gonna play
Uh-huh.
something for your children, and they're gonna give you a look, and they're gonna go over and push the stop button.
So
When
be
that
ye
ha-
Oh,
prepared.
I believe
when that happens, that's when you will know that they're ready to get into the business.
I believe it. I believe it. My daughter is just like my wife, so I could just see her right now twirling her hair like, "Dad, what is?"
Well, man,
I have one request
Yeah.
for you. I want you to do a
Okay.
collaboration with Lawrence Matthews.
Ooh,
I was just
that's
in San
easy.
Jose. I was just in San Jose at Holiday at the Cathedral, and it was
Yes,
it was amazing. And,
yes.
and Lawrence Matthews still has it.
Oh, he still has it for sure,
With your
100%.
with your writing skills and that you work with his nephew, just seems like a perfect
Yeah.
combination to me.
Yeah, that's super easy. Yeah, Jeremy, my manager, that's his nephew. And so yeah, that connect is super easy. And shout out to my boy Marcus McCauley, Holiday at the Temple.
It was amazing.
Amazing artist,
Yeah.
producer, manager, executive himself.
Yes.
And so shout out to him.
Yes. So we'll look for that because Lawrence is getting ready to do some more music. I talked to him Saturday night.
Yeah.
So that's your
Yeah.
little way in.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. I'm excited.
Yes.
Well, with that being said, let's talk about this new
This
song,
new
my
single.
friend.
Yes.
It is called In the Shadows. Tell us about it.
Yes, sir. In the Shadow. So this was one of the first songs that I wrote for this project. I did a lot of things differently this time around, just because the season I was coming out of and in preparation in the writing for this project was a little different than any of the other projects I had done, and so I knew I wanted to be honest and transparent, more than I had before with my writing. And so for the first time, I did a writing retreat. And I went out to Half Moon Bay. You from the Bay, so you know where Half Moon Bay is. One of my favorite places to go and just kind of relax in the Bay, right on the water. I'm a water person. I like being by the water, and so you get out there and you just vibe out, man. And that was one of the first songs God started to deposit on my retreat, and it just talks about what happens when you fall out of the shadow of the Almighty, and you start making choices and decisions that you have to look back on and go, if I was in the shadow, I probably wouldn't have made some of those
Oh
decisions. And
yes.
so
Oh
it
yes.
talks about staying in that covering, staying under the shadow of the Almighty. So that way you stay protected. Your heart, mind, and soul, and your spirit is protected when you're under the shadow. So yeah, man, it's a fun bop. It's a fun. We call it a bop. So yeah,
That's an
I
East
like it.
Coast slang.
Yeah.
Is it East Coast or West Coast?
The bop East Coast says a lot too. So let's
Okay.
say
Yeah, I
it's a
heard
musical
about.
slang.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, man, we're excited
Yeah.
about it. I know that the interview took a lot of twists and turns, but we want people to know who Dale Anthony
Who it
is.
really is.
They done
Oh no,
already
this was
start
fun.
texting and said to me, we need to get his wife on to get the rest of the story,
Right, right.
and tell her that everybody's waiting for the hair twirl. The hair
Yeah,
twirl is going to
yeah,
be her signature that she's in thought process.
yeah, exactly.
Well, brother,
Exactly.
we appreciate you so much, and we're going to now
Oh
introduce
man.
it to our listeners. This is Dale Anthony. The song is called In the Shadows, right here on GOD Radio 1.
.com.